Now this two-rax opener, are you doing the same?
I am doing the same. It is my bread and butter opening Terran versus Zerg nowadays. Um, I love the point of it. That, you can put the pressure on the Zerg early to force them to use their larva to force them to make Zerglings when they really want to make drones and make spine crawlers and stuff like that. So it's a really good opening that I don't really use or utilize to where it's any kind of all-in. I'm not a fan of the Foxer. You send all your SCVs but two after the
Right.
Zerg, and you cross the fingers. No, I don't like doing that. So, but I do use the opening in just a little bit different fashion.
Now this is actually the build that Jake is going to try and teach me right after this replay and possibly a little bit of an interview. But you mentioned Foxer, also known as Marine King Prime. What do you think of the GSL finals?
I actually missed this GSL finals, as sad as that is.
Well, you
but I
didn't
saw
miss
the
much.
Yeah, I saw the results, and I was like, wow, that's something. So we see Brett did get a drone into my base. So he did see exactly what I'm doing. He sees I'm not grabbing any gases, which is fine because I really don't care. Because I'm planning on going from a two-rax pressure into an expansion. So I'm using that one Marine to kind of just wall that drone in to make sure that it dies, pretty much.
Now, when you see a hatch first opener like this from a Zerg, typically, and when you're opening two racks, does that kind of put a smile on your face, or what do you initially respond, or how do you initially respond to this?
Okay, well, here's the rules that follow with two-rax play. If they hatch first, then their tech is going to be slower, so their link speed is going to be that much slower, which means that you can hold map control with Marines, just pure Marines, longer, which keeps Zerg kind of out of the dark. Now, this is actually, like, what Rhett's doing with his Overlord at 6 o'clock is actually ridiculously risky, and I don't even know how I didn't see this. But normally, it would keep Zerg in the dark. So, like, he sent the first Zergling at the top, the left watchtower, and I sniped it. And here comes two more Zerglings trying to sneak into my base because Zerg really needs to know what Terran's planning. It just helps a lot. Like, with Zerg, you have to really know what your opponent's doing so you can react accordingly. So I'm just keep building Marines, and because he opened with a hatch first, that means his speedlings are going to be that much slower, which means I can hold map control for that much longer.
And that's what you're pretty much doing here with these Marines in the center. Do you typically drop a command center right after you kind of have map control like you were just talking about?
Yeah, if I'm not planning on doing any kind of like big timing attack, or if I'm just not planning on all-inning, then I'll try to get an expansion pretty much as fast as possible. Usually it'll be after like maybe my 3rd Marine or even after my 5th Marine.
You are being very active with this little Marine force in the center of the map, taking out Xel'Naga Lings and just pretty much dominating the
See,
map.
Because I took control of the map, it forced him to make these Zerglings. Like we see right now in his main, he's got like 18 Zerglings or something like that, 16 Zerglings, and that's the whole goal of it, is to make him build these units, make him, force him to not drone up to where it's just ridiculous, where Terran cannot catch up in economy-wise. So, but now I'm going on to the next part of my step, which is actually just defending any kind of all-in or something. So I have the 2 bunkers. I also have some Marines over here guarding my right side, but my Marines are in range of my bunker, so they're kind of baitish. Like if he does come and attack that mineral line, then the bunker will also fire at the Marines. It won't be just like, them trying to surround 4.
Right.
It'll be lonely Marines. I do also have a really fast engineering bay. I get my engineering bay before my factory to start getting that +1 attack, because I'm a huge upgrade whore when it comes to this game.
And there he comes, swinging in with the Lings from the right side in the, not really the Tasteless Secret hallway, that is the north one, but in one of the hallways on this map, he did take out a little bit of your Marine force right there. I'm not sure if any SCVs were lost, but the Baneling Nest has finished, and he's just kind of chilling in the brush right here, and you're not really doing anything about it just because you don't have to do anything about it, correct?
Right. He's not going to be able to move in and snipe my SCV line or anything like that, so I'm not even worried about it. If Banelings came, I'd probably get a little bit more worried, but I would just, run my SCV line and let the bunker snipe the Banelings or something. So I am adding more Raxes now, and I'm also going straight to a starport. I'm trying to get the starport pretty much as fast as possible. I like teching pretty much, and having as few of Marines as possible while getting a lot of my tech tree done. So we do see that he has a lot of drones. He's way up on me in drones, and he's also expanding to the right side. And this is actually something that I'm not prepared for, because a lot of players don't expand there as they're like third. Like, it's just not safe most of the time. But Rhett did expand there, and it actually kind of caught me off guard because I do not scout that.
And this is one of the things that Rhett is really known for, this creep spread, already almost in the center of the map, using 4 creep tumors to spread about. I believe he has a queen pretty much dedicated to this, and eventually he's going to move it over to his third.
There's 6 tumors down at a time. That's ridiculous.
Now, how do you kind of deal with that as a Terran, or do you even have a way of dealing with that this early on in the game?
The only way to really, this early in the game, it's almost suicide. Like, opening two-rax, you have complete map control in the beginning of the game. But then once Zerg gets Zergling speed, it's risky to ever move out again with your Marines without having like stim pack and medevacs, right? So with that being said, it's much safer to just tech up, and then once you have medevacs and stuff, then you can retake map control. But until then, you're kind of giving Zerg complete map control. So we see right now my SCV is scouting what I thought was quote-unquote his third, going down, which was actually his fourth. So I have my medevac loaded up on the left side, and it's going to go and drop behind there. And I love dropping behind the minerals on this map, because almost every base you can look at, like every third and fourth, there's always nice places to do like a Marine drop behind the mineral line, to where it kind of bottlenecks and chokes up the Zerglings and stuff.
He has some great Overlord placement here, right behind his what you thought was his third, and you're going to go ahead and drop that, possibly taking it out. These rocks have been taken down, but there's no creep, so these links will be a little bit slower, and he has just now gotten mutas out, so they will most likely be able to take out that medevac and the few remaining Marines there. Your Marines do have a nice placement, though. They're in the mineral field, kind of behind it, so the links can't actually get to it. The mutas will be able to use splash damage, though. And this is what I was talking about earlier, guys. I mean, look at this creep spread almost all the way across the map right now, already connecting to his third over here, as he is getting a fourth. And I mean, this game was played last week, correct?
Right.
Typically, what do you kind of see from Zerg users that Red is doing so much better?
He just has way better multitasking than most Zerg players. Like, that's what it really comes down to. Like, Red's always been a very good player, even back in the Brood War days. So, like, you can't take anything away from how great of a player he is. And it's really just his multitasking and being able to do everything. Like, we see that the creep tumors have just like non-stop been going. He's flying around with the mutas. He's transferring drones. He's doing so many different things at once. So right now, I do have 1-1 on my upgrades. I have my second attack being researched right now. It's almost complete. I am pretty much playing pure Marine medevac at this point. I still don't know he has the right side, which and I also sneak around with my Marines. You can kind of go around this watchtower if you just like hug the side until a point, so they don't have so much time to prepare. So we see I do come in right now. I'm actually lost the medevac. That was kind of bad, but
you were immediately spreading your Marines, yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to spread my Marines pretty much as fast as possible. I don't want to get them baneling raped, which they still kind of do, but I mean, I still win the battle, so I can't complain too much. At least I semi-win the battle. I guess his reinforcements clean me up, but the big thing is I keep keeping. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. I am keeping his muta count low.
There you go.
English is difficult for us.
It's all right, man. I mess up more than anyone, so don't beat yourself up about it.
Even with the first drop, we noticed that I actually sniped like 3 or 4 mutas when he was trying, like, behind his mineral line, which on his quote-unquote third at the top left. And the same thing with this attack. He lost a lot of units, but I did snipe a lot of his mutas as well.
Yeah, this is your first time really seeing this this hatchery and this base over here. You saw a ton of drones on it as well. When you typically find kind of a hidden expansion like that, what is your initial reaation? Besides, oh
my
shit.
Initial reaction, that's my initial reaction right there. I'm like, oh my god, I am way behind. I thought I was, it's like I thought I was doing good, but now it's like I need to like step it up. I need to start hitting multiple places at once. I really need to split his army. army up, and that's what I'm really going to start planning on doing here. Now I know I have to be really aggressive, and I just can't let him, get comfortable with all these bases. I have to like split his army up and really, wreak havoc everywhere. So right now you see I do have a drop going at the top left. Behind, I'm going to do the same thing that I did last time and drop behind the mineral line and hit there. But at the same time, I have this attack going at the right side with a small force of Marine medevac. So it's really hitting two places at once, and we can see like his mutas can't defend both places. So his mutas are going to save top right, and that's fine. I do kill some of the drones there, which will make him have to reproduce that. But I'm also able to take out the right side due to how far the distance is between the two bases. It was just really difficult for him to defend both places at once.
And this is kind of how you, I guess, come back if you're a little bit behind, correct? You just do some multi-prong type of harassment like this?
Yeah, definitely. There's really no other way to come back, and I must say, this creep spread is so annoying. Like, I can't even take my expansion now. So here he comes with, like, Bangling, Zergling attack, and I do lose quite a few Marines. And he does clean up some tanks, but it's still keeping his unit count kind of low. Like, he does have a lot of drones. He has 73 drones to my 56 SCVs. But, wow, I didn't even notice I ran into all those mutas.
On the right side?
Yeah, I like load up a medevac and they instantly run into mutas.
He does have a gaggle of mutas if you...
Yeah, and this is when Zerg becomes, like, really difficult to deal with. Even though right now, I guess he thinks he's attacking. I don't know if he meant to do that or that was a misclick. Not really sure what was going on. But I have to wait. Like, creep really needs to be changed or something because it takes forever for creep to disappear. Like, after you kill something, like, even an overlord that's just, like, spewing over a spot, like, creep literally takes, like, a minute to disappear to where I can, like, start mining from this expansion, which is what Terran really is always after. Like, on this map, Terran wants that gold so bad, because that allows... A gold to a Terran is like having two bases.
Right.
Due to the fact that mules, like, give so much extra minerals.
Now we see a ton... Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. You go.
I was just going to say, now we see that these mutas are going to do... Now they're, like, doing their purpose. They're going to, like, force me to play all this defensive, because now he has so many mutas that turrets don't do anything anymore. He can snipe them in, like, 2 seconds. And... it's really forcing me to kind of, play a lot more defensive, which is letting him build up again.
Right. Now, typically with turret placement, as a lot of newer players probably will be watching this, how do you tend to place your initial turrets, and then after that, how do you tend to place more and more turrets to kind of defend against what Red is doing right now?
Okay, so if I'm playing this kind of style where I have a lot of Raxes and a lot of reactors, I have to defend the reactors and the mineral lines. Those are like the real keys, because reactors take too long to build, and while they're building, I can't build anything myself. So it really hurts my production rate. So I usually will drop like 3 turrets at my Raxes if they're all at like the same spot, and then I'll drop 1 or 2 turrets at every like main or natural. And then at my third, I'll usually drop like 2 or 3, because by the time I have a third, they have a lot of mutas, so I need a lot of turrets, and the turrets aren't there to actually, like, win, versus the mutas. They're just there to stall long enough so, like, my reinforcement Marines or something like that could get back in time.
Now we see a billion banelings there, or as Artosis might say, so many, but you're getting ready to get attacked right here. How do you deal with this? Do you just stim and run away? You probably should have had that tank sieged, but... really, with banelings, are you trying to spread out your Marines as fast as possible and move away?
Absolutely. But here's where the case where